Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here today to do a review of Hunter x Hunter episode 128. Now, this episode really didn't shit happen. I mean, we seen the king got blown up, but yet the king is still alive. The king's alive in a very, very, very weakened state. Basically, a kid could kill him if he had the chance. But he's sitting in Poof's arms, and what's his name? Not Poof or not Pito, it's Yuppie. He's sitting in Yuppie's arms. And Poof basically says that I'm going to feed myself to the king. Then the king's like, "What's this exquisite taste? It's one of the best tastes I've ever had of anything." And then Poof proceeds to feed him a lot of his body, and basically it gives him a whole lot of extra strength that he didn't have. So the king's not fully back yet, but he's not dead either. Now, after Poof does it, apparently what Poof had there wasn't enough, so Yuppie decided to do it. He turned his cells into a liquid form somehow, and then fed the king sort of like a baby bottle. Then after the king basically ate most of Poof and or part of Poof and a good bit of Yuppie, he gained wings, the ability to use He gained wings, and the wings that he gained the ability to use are Yuppies. So now you got Yuppie and Poof in like a baby form, just kind of like Poof was this whole time. And there's several separate forms. You got Yuppie down to that form now, so they're both about this tall. And the king has no recollection of anything that happened, other than the fact that Yuppie and Poof were his royal guards. And Yuppie decides, hey, it would probably be best if you went back to the castle, then you could remember everything that's going on. Then Poof had a realization that if he were to kill Komagi before the king returned, then he wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. He could get straight to conquering the world like he wants to. Because if he sees all these people lined up outside of the castle, then he'll understand, or outside of the courtyard, I should say, he'll understand what was going on, what he was doing before. He'll basically remember everything. And you basically see Poof rushing off trying to find Komagi, and Poof winds up in this room where he's punched by Knuckle when Knuckle and Melarion were basically invisible, and then right after that, the little timer popped up. The little thing that's like Chikandas. It's time adding interest. I don't know the next. I don't know how to say adding interest, but basically it popped up behind Poof's real body, which is with the king, and the king's like, "What's that?" He's like, "I don't know. It must be the result of one of the leftover enemies hitting one of my clones." And basically after that, you see Palm pop up to Poof, and it's like, "I've seen you before you put me into that cocoon." And basically they're at us, they're off now, and then the king starts flying back to the castle, and the king's speed has increased several fold times. And generally it would have taken him about 20 minutes to reach the palace from where he was, and now it would only take him a couple minutes, is what they said. So this this arc, this arc's been out for a while because the dude hasn't wrote. And you know how most people say Naruto is basically a copy of Hunter x Hunter? If you look at it, it fucking is. Like, like the first part I always thought was they had a lot of concrete evidence, but if you look at the king now, and then you look at Madara, they powered the king up to a level just now, this episode, they powered the king up to a level that it doesn't seem like anybody would be able to defeat. Because if Netero had a hard time defeating its previous version, nobody there is going to have an easy time defeating its current version. And he was the head of pretty much fucking everything. Netero was. He was pretty much the strongest dude in the anime that we've seen so far. And they powered up him like hell. And now in Naruto, they've been powering Madara up constantly. Like, he's beyond a power that dude probably don't even know how to defeat him now. I mean, I'm sure he's got something in mind because he said it's going to end this year. But the amount of power gain right there was much more than what the king got, but it's basically the same concept. And they have several soldiers, or what will turn out to be ant soldiers later on out in the courtyard, just like White Zetsu had all of his clones. But it's basically like a big ass war thing. It's the exact same concept of the last arc of Naruto, and just makes me like, damn. I mean, I still enjoy Naruto. Don't get me wrong, Naruto's a good anime. It just too many striking resemblances between the two anime that it makes me think there's a whole lot of lack of originality in the show. But overall, this episode, I really wasn't feeling it. We'll just basically play this off, play that off here. This is what happens. The king gets a fucking hella power boost, and Palm and Pooh are staring each other down, maybe for a fight to come. We don't know exactly. And the only real plot progression the only real character progression we got is with the king. We got plot progression with the king getting back to life, and Palm basically facing off with Poof. And the only real progression we got, this also falls into plot progression, is when Knuckle hit Poof and added the timer to him, and the king coming back to life. So overall, this episode, I mean, it just really wasn't that good to me. I'm gonna have to give it like a 6 out of 10, and that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Peace.